Hi, welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you in. How are you doing? Good, good. So, I was taking a look at your chart. It looks like today we are in for a birth control consult. Is that correct? Yeah? Okay. Now, I know I remember you, but just for procedure's sake, can you please confirm your name and date of birth for me? Perfect, that all matches up. Okay, so now, are you looking to go into like hormonal birth control? Is there a specific kind of birth control you're looking for? Or are you just trying to like figure things out? You just kind of want to hear about all the different types that we can offer. Okay, yeah, I can tell you a little bit about each. It will be also a little dependent on your insurance and what they allow and what they cover, so keep that in mind too, but I will go through each kind of birth control, okay? So we're going to start with getting your vitals because we need to check if you are a candidate for certain birth controls. The combination pill that uses estrogen is not good for people who have high blood pressure, a history of heart disease, or blood clots, because it can really increase those factors. Smoking as well would be something that would make you ineligible to have the estrogen birth control options. Okay, so we're going to start by getting a blood pressure. I'll listen to your heart and lungs. And then I'll just ask you a few questions and then we can get into it. Hand sanitizer, I'll get gloved up and we'll be ready to go, okay? Are you still in school right now? Okay, nice. How many years do you have left? Okay, that's still pretty early on. Have you had to pick a major? Okay. Next year? Do you know what you're thinking about going into? Wow. That sounds really fun. Interesting. Okay. Now let me get my stethoscope on. I'm going to start with listening to your heart, and then I'll have you do some deep breaths, and then we'll move on to taking your blood pressure, okay? Okay. So just sit still. I know it can be a little cold. I'm just going to listen to your heart. Just breathe normally, all right? Good. Okay, now I'm going to listen to your breathing. So take a big deep breath in for me. And exhale. All right, and another big deep breath in for me. And exhale. Okay, and another big deep breath in. And exhale. And one last time. Deep breath in. And exhale. Good job. Alrighty. So now, everything sounded good there. Let me get the blood pressure cuff on you real quick. So I'm going to have you just extend your right arm and kind of rest it on the chair right there, okay? Okay. Get this on there. Okay. Is that alright? Not too tight? Okay, good. I'm gonna have you uncross your legs for me. Thank you. Just gonna have it start. And it's gonna get, a little tighter. Don't worry about it. It's only a minute or two. Okay. Here we go. All right, perfect. I'll take that off. Good. So your blood pressure is looking good. So you should be able to take the combination pill. But let me ask a few more questions. So have you ever had any history of high blood pressure before? No? Okay. And no clotting either? Okay. Any like heart disease in your family? Anything like that? No? Okay, great. Perfect. Now that sounds like you are a good candidate for the combination birth controls. So, for combination birth controls, we could do things like pills. There is the vaginal ring, I believe NuvaRing is the most popular brand. There is the birth control patch. And then there are hormonal IUDs, which are going to be interuterine devices. And those are things, they look kind of like a T shape, and those get inserted through your cervix into your uterus, and they just kind of hang out there and, yeah, prevent pregnancies that way. Okay. Yeah. So for the pills, they're going to be a pill that you take every day, ideally at the same time. I use pills, so I set an alarm so I do not forget to take them. And the pills can all be a little different. They can contain different dosages throughout the weeks. So you get 4 weeks of pills, and they can either all be a constant dose of the hormones, or they can be different doses depending on the week. And then the 4th week will be a placebo week, and that'll be when you get your period. Yeah, and when you're on your birth control, you're still totally clear on your birth control for that. But do keep in mind that, you would still want to use condoms just because those will protect you from any STIs. Okay, yeah. So it's, any of these birth controls, you're still going to want to use condoms and protective devices. Yeah, they don't prevent you from any kind of STIs, so that's always good to keep in mind. All right, so yeah, like the pill, it'll be 3 weeks of hormones and then a placebo week. Some people do either skip the placebo week, or there are pill packs that are meant for skipping your periods, and there is no scientific reason or biological reason to have your period each month, but I know some girls do prefer it. Yeah, so it's up to you. Sometimes, you may have a big event, so maybe you want to skip. So the pill does really give you a lot of flexibility in that, and being able to kind of pick and choose when you're going to have a period, compared to other birth controls. So next would be the NuvaRing, and that is going to be a flexible ring. Basically, it's going to kind of look like a hair tie. It won't be as bendy as that. It'll be a little more rigid, but it is inserted into the vagina, and you would leave it in again for 3 weeks. So this would be very helpful if you don't really think you're someone who can remember to take a pill daily. So yeah, so then you would leave it in, you would take it out, and then for the week that you don't have it in, you would get your period, and then you'll get a new NuvaRing, and then you'll insert it again. Yeah, and then there are things like the patch. And what's important with the patch birth control is that each week you will put on a new patch, but you need to make sure that you are not putting it on the same place. So places that you can put the patch would be back, like shoulder blades, you on your bottom, above your like pelvic area. Yeah, so each week you would want to rotate where you put it. It's a big no-no to put the patch in the same spot. So yeah, you will need to remember to rotate the location of your pouch. Okay, good. Any questions so far? Yeah, so the interuterine device would be a procedure. It's an outpatient procedure, so it only takes, I would say, maybe an hour or so to get that inserted. And I will say, we do have people who do complain of, it is a little painful. We do use anesthetic, stuff like that, but you still will feel some pressure down there. So it kind of depends what you would like. I know that can be scary, and it's usually a multi-year commitment to make, whereas the other ones you could stop if you were feeling, you're not feeling this or whatever. Or with like birth control pills, we can adjust the pill pretty easily. If we find after a few months that this formulation isn't working for you, then we can find a completely new formulation. There are so many different types of pills and different dosages of the pills and the hormones that are in them. So let me ask you this. Is your period generally pretty heavy, pretty long? Are you like someone who has a period for like 7 to 8 days, or are your periods very light in flow and not a full week? So your periods are usually kind of on the heavier side, a little crampier. Okay, yeah, so I would definitely steer you towards hormonal birth control, because things like the non-hormonal, like the Paragard, IUD, can have side effects where they make your period more heavy, more crampy, more bleeding, irregular bleeding. So I think hormonal birth control would be your best option. But we'll still talk about the other ones, okay? Yes, so for these types of birth controls, they tend to have 95% effectiveness if used, if they're used at the same time each day or the same time each month when you are, or week when you are inserting like the rings, stuff like that. So there is a little fluctuation. Say if you take the pill not at the same time every day, it would be less effective. Okay, yeah, so it's very important to be taking the pills at the exact same time and doing all of your other birth control methods at the same time, okay? Okay. So now let's move on to the next option, which would be just progesterone only birth control. So still hormonal, but not the two hormones, okay? So those would be like the depot shot. The depot shot, you would come in every 3 months and you would get a shot. There is the rod, and that is inserted into your arm. There are also intrauterine devices. Those are going to release hormones. So again, they are inserted through the cervix into the uterus. And then they will release the progestin throughout. And those come in different kind of strengths, basically. So they can be inserted for either 3 to about 7 years in length that you could keep that in. And then also we have progesterone only pill options as well. So side effects with progesterone only options are that they can cause irregular bleeding, kind of hormonal mood swings. It could cause weight gain. That's usually associated with the depot shot specifically. And they can also cause no period at all. So you could be someone who gets no period, or you could be someone who gets more irregular bleeding. So that's usually the side effects with those, and they tend to have like a 95 to like 99% effective rate. So the depot shot being like a 95% rate, and then the IUD being like 99% effective. And finally, we have the non-hormonal birth control options. Those are going to be things like the barriers, so condoms, internal condoms, like the female condom, basically. IUDs like Paragard, which don't have any hormones in them, but again would be inserted into would be inserted into the uterus. And then things like a spermicide, which would be a gel that is inserted into the vagina before sex. Do you have any questions about any of those? Okay, yeah, so the Paragard differences, other than it's not releasing hormones, it can stay in longer, so about 10 years is the length that we would keep a Paragard in. It does, I think, have more side effects. We have people who say that it does or can make your period more heavy, irregular, crampy. So yeah, I don't tend to recommend that if your period is already kind of painful or long, because it could, make the problem worse, honestly. So it just kind of depends on what you're thinking is right for you. Have you decided if you're leaning one way or another? The pills? Okay, yeah, I always find that's the best place to start, especially for people just getting into birth control. It's the least invasive option, I think, and I think you'd be a perfect candidate for a combination pill. So what we'll do is I will get you a prescription for that, and you can take it to the pharmacy, and I want you to take them at the same time every day. And we're gonna do another visit in about 3 months, because that's about the length of time that your body will need to adjust to the birth control. And then after that, we can see, like I said, there are many different formulations. So if you need something stronger or just a different brand, even, then we can work on that and get you a new prescription. And then we'll check again in another 3 months, okay? Yeah, because sometimes there can be like breakthrough bleeding where you're getting bleeding when you shouldn't be. It could be headaches, things like that, or something to look out for. Changes in mood. Yeah, and then again, with on the pill, you're gonna really want to make sure that you're not doing any smoking, not a lot of heavy drinking, because with the estrogen in there, it can elevate blood pressure, and that can lead to a whole bunch of health problems that you do not want. So you need to be very careful with things like that. Okay, perfect. So we will get you the prescription, and I will send that over to your pharmacy. Has your pharmacy changed? No? Okay, great. And we are having a couple samples, actually just one. We do have this pill. It is a emergency birth control pill. If, say, you had forgotten to take your pills for a couple days, or you'd used a condom and it broke, this would be emergency contraception. It is one pill that you would take and it would prevent pregnancy. Do you want one? Okay, yeah, I'll just give you that. Perfect. Okay, so it should get, your prescription should get to the pharmacy in the next couple of hours, and you can go get that filled. And then I would probably start taking it tomorrow. When was your last period? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I would start taking your pill tomorrow and then just pick a time, whatever works for you. Or, yeah, maybe you'll take a couple days to kind of figure out what time is best. But then I would personally set an alarm so you're taking it at the same time every day. Okay? And then I'll see you back here in 3 months. Perfect. Okay. And if you don't have any other questions for me, no? All right. I will see you later. You have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.